Hey everybody, this is Chris with OpsEd. Today I'm going to go over the shotgun tier list in Black Ops 3. Just a reminder, tier 4 is going to be the worst, with tier 1 being the best, and we're only ranking these weapons relative to one another. So getting started in tier 4, we do not have any shotguns, as there's only 4 shotguns and they're all pretty good. In tier 3, we do have the KRM-262. That's your standard pump action shotgun. It's pretty good. It has a decent one-hit kill radius. It has a decent fire rate with a pretty quick reload, but it just lacks the punch of some of the other shotguns and simply doesn't compete in most situations. Then moving on into tier 2, we have the Haymaker 12 and the Argus. The Haymaker 12 is going to be our fully automatic shotgun. It doesn't do an awful lot of damage, but it has a really quick fire rate, and particularly with the flinch, can get you a lot of kills. It's really easy to use and can absolutely be effective in a run and gun situation. Also in tier 2, we have the Argus. The Argus is unique in that it is pump action, but you reload it all at once instead of one bullet at a time. And when aiming down the sights, it is very similar to a slug shotgun. It's very reminiscent to the KSG from Black Ops 2. However, from the hip, it is still have a nice, decent bullet spread. The Argus will give you the most range out of any shotguns, particularly when aiming down sights. So it has a great place. It just isn't quite as good and isn't quite like a shotgun. So that does leave it in tier 2. In tier 1, of course, that leaves the 205 Brecci. This was one of the weaker shotguns earlier on, but after some recent changes and buffs, the Brecci is now easily the best shotgun. While it's not fully automatic like the Haymaker, it is semi-automatic and does significantly more damage than the Haymaker. So as long as you can hit that fire button quick enough, it's going to be better than the Haymaker in every way. It kills quicker than the KRM, it kills quicker than the Haymaker. It's not quite as accurate as the Argus and doesn't have that one-shot kill range, but it's much easier to use and it is semi-automatic, which makes it really, really powerful, both in close quarters and medium range situations. Now moving on to optics, we do have 4 optics that you can put on shotguns. In tier 3, we're going to go ahead and put both the reflex sight and the BOA3 sight because we really don't need optics on shotguns to begin with, and neither one of these is going to be great. In tier 2, we are going to go ahead and put the ELO sight. This is specifically going to be for situations where you do want to aim down sights, maybe to get a little bit more range, reduce that bullet spread, or when you're using the Argus because you're going to want to be aiming down sights a lot, the ELO is going to be amazing because it keeps your peripheral vision really high, but does give you that little bit of extra accuracy. However, in tier 1, all we have is the iron sights. No optics at all are necessary on pretty much any of the shotguns. The Argus is the only one we're going to get any real benefit from a sight, but the iron sights on the Argus are strong enough that you're not going to need to go ahead and put that ELO sight on there anyway. And then lastly, moving on to attachments. Tier 4, we don't have any attachments. The shotguns don't have a lot of attachments that are useless or you're not going to want to put on there. They all have a place depending on your playstyle. In tier 3, we do have the stock, quick draw, and the suppressor. Now, stock and quick draw are only going to be useful while aiming down sights, which means for most of the shotguns, they're not going to be useful at all. However, it is worth noting that on the Argus, stock and quick draw can be very good. Quick draw in particular is exceptional on the Argus, but it is not all that good on the other 3 shotguns, so it is going to be in tier 3. Now, also in tier 3 is the suppressor. Suppressor used to be really, really bad. It recently got buffed, so it is usable now. Still, the shotgun is not going to be the best place for it because any reduction in range is going to dramatically hurt you, and the shotguns already suffer from a low range. So the suppressor will be useful, but not that great, particularly when compared with other weapons like submachine guns or assault rifles. In tier 2, we do have long barrel and fast mags. Now, long barrel does help give a little bit of additional range. However, it's not that effective on shotguns because it's really only increasing that final range. You're not increasing your like 1 or 2 shot kill range. And then fast mags isn't going to be that useful because of the way shotguns reload, and you're not going to be in situations where you're going to be able to reload and then get a kill really quickly. So fast mags isn't going to give you a lot of benefit. And lastly, of course, in tier 1, we have rapid fire, laser sight, and extended mags. Rapid fire is, of course, exceptional on almost every weapon. It's particularly good on the shotguns. I would say on the Haymaker and the Brecci, it is almost required to really make the guns feel proper. The laser sight is, of course, amazing with all the shotguns except perhaps the Argus, where you are going to be firing from the hip the vast majority of the time. So getting that spread down a little bit can really help get your accuracy up and increase your 1 and 2 shot kills. Extended mags is also going to be exceptional because unlike fast mags, it does give you that extra firepower while you're in an engagement. It gives you that extra time to maybe hit that last shot and get the kills. Then you can escape and be in a safe place. So just to recap really quickly, in tier 3 we have the KRM-262. In tier 2 we have the Haymaker 12 and the Argus. And in tier 1 we have the 205 Brecci. In the optics category, we have the reflex and the BOA3 sight in Tier 3, the ELO in Tier 2, and iron sights being in Tier 1. And then for attachments, we have the stock quick draw suppressor in Tier 3, long barrel and fast mags in Tier 2, and rapid fire, laser sight, and extended mags in Tier 1. This has been Chris with OPSED. I do hope this helped, and we'll see you next time.